pep talk time. Welcome to Kyera in My Pocket, where personal transformation gets intimate, raw, and uncensored. So do not say that I didn't warn you. I'm Kyera Kacey, founder of Liberate Her, an international best-selling author of Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth. I have coached thousands of women around the world using our 9 iconic rich bitch principles to change their lives, their businesses, and their bank accounts. So get ready for unfiltered stories, TMI moments, and the exact mindset and embodiment shifts that have helped me build a multi-7-figure empire. I am here to help you on your path to personal and professional success. So tune in, turn up, and let's fucking go. I got a pocket full of Kyera. Whoa. I couldn't help myself. Let's go. Okay, so today's channeled message, I'm really excited about this. So I was going through all of my books this morning. I was organizing my bookshelf. Anytime I'm getting ready to run my 25-day money program, which I do now twice a year, I purge everything before I do this program. So even though there's a chapter in the book where we actually go through this throughout the 25 days where, you know, we clean house, like I have you go through your closets, anything that is like, you know, holding stagnant energy, we get rid of it. Okay. So this is just like a ritual that I have. So we are gearing up in July to have the 25-day program. And so anyway, I was going through all of my books. I was getting rid of things that I no longer read or use or that are just old. And I'm like, I'm never going to use these again. Let me get rid of this energy. And as I was doing that, I came across a picture frame, and like, it's always been there. I just happened to see it. You know, sometimes you have things and they're like right in your face, but you don't see it. You know what I mean by this? So it's like, it's not that it was new. I just happened to see it. I just happened to like see it. And in this picture frame, I have, it's a piece of cardboard paper, and on it is a dog print. So let me tell you the story behind this, because today's channeled message has to do with our animals who have like crossed over. So if you have a pet that has crossed over, this is a sign from me, like through me to you, from that pet. Okay, so stay with me. So I have, if you didn't listen to like one of the previous episodes, I mentioned how in 2017, I drove to Rhinebeck, New York to go to an animalcation course with Danielle McKinnon at the Omega Institute. So essentially I was learning how to communicate with animals and strengthen my psychic channel in that way. So I've always had a really big connection to animals growing up. I was that child that was bringing squirrels and birds and creatures into the house that were like injured on the road. It drove my dad insane. He would be like, you can't keep bringing squirrels in the fucking house. Like enough is enough. Okay. So I've always had a love for animals. I was like, if I'm going to be anything when I grew up, I'm going to be a veterinarian. And of course, then when I was 17, I went to my first seminar. I saw the leader on stage and I just knew that's what I was going to be doing with my life. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I have a very profound love and connection with animals. And I always have. So anyway, when I lost my dog, Jack, I rescued Jack in, when was it? I don't remember the year. But Jack was a dog that I rescued. And funny story. So I was getting ready for work one morning. This was when I still worked at a law firm. So you know, this was like a long time ago. I was in my kitchen. I had opened up Facebook, and my best friend, Jane, she passed away in 2023. But my best friend, Jane, had posted this picture of a dog on her Facebook that needed to be adopted. And that dog was Jack. And if you've ever had one of those moments where you've seen, I don't know, a person, a partner, a friend, like you see their picture or you meet them in person for the first time, or maybe the same thing has happened for you where it's a pet and it's like just a knowing at first sight. I saw that dog and I said to myself, he's mine. It was like I knew when I saw his picture that we had a soul contract and he would be my dog. And so I called the Humane Society, or I called like whoever had him. And I was like, I need this dog. This is my dog. And I thought that he was actually going to be taken because he was so fucking cute. He was like a German Shepherd Bloodhound mix. Okay. He was the cutest fucking dog. And so I called them. I'm like, I have to have this dog. And they said to me, they're like, this dog is amazing. However, he might need potential surgery on both eyes, which could cost up to $2,000 per eye. Now, at the time, I was like broke. Now, I could afford dog food and all of that. Don't get me wrong, but like $2,000 at the time, you might as well have told me that it was like 200,000. There was no fucking way. And I had this pause and I just tuned into my heart. My heart was like, get this dog. Just trust this is your dog. So I call my mom. I'm like, I don't care. I want the dog. She's like, okay. So I call my mom. I said, Mom, you've got to drive an hour to go pick up this dog because I've got to go to work. So bless my mom. She's the most incredible woman in the world. She drove an hour one way and an hour back to pick up this dog for me. He was $100. And so Jack became like the love of my life. He was the most just loving, gentle, beautiful dog. And when I had gotten him, you could tell he had been abused because anytime anyone went to go pet him, he was terrified. He would flinch. It was almost like you were going to hit him. And I'll never forget, I came home one day and I opened the door and he was shaking violently in the corner. Like literally like if he could have morphed into the wall, he would have done that. That's how terrified and in the corner he was. And I was like, oh, fuck, what did he get into? Now, I didn't yell at him. I didn't say anything because he was scared. I'm like, I'm not going to be upset with this dog. So I look in the kitchen and this dog took down an entire pineapple and pizza. I had a, leftover pizza in a box on my countertop. And I thought, well, I can't be mad at that. That's 100% my fault. You can't leave pizza on the counter and then get upset with the dog for eating it. So anyway, did not get mad at him. I loved him fiercely. And he rebuilt his trust in humans. And he just became the most incredible, gentle giant. Like Jack is truly an angel. So when I lost Jack, it devastated me. It was one of the only times running my business that I had to take a week off. I literally was my heart hurt so badly that I took an entire week off. I canceled everything on my calendar that week. I rescheduled all of my private clients. I rescheduled my mastermind. Any and everything I had, it got moved. And I actually went to a place in Austin and I went to a wellness center there for an entire week and I just grieved Jack. And so I always talk to my animals. In fact, actually, I went like, this is how weird I am. If you want to know my level of weird, I'm going to constantly let you in. So I went for a walk the other morning and I invited Jack to walk with me. Jack is crossed over, but I will still invite him to walk with me and I can feel his presence. And so when he passed away, I don't remember if it was a week or it was 2 weeks, but it was somewhere within that time frame. It was very, very soon after his passing that my dog Henry had to go to the vet. And so I called the vet. It was a same day thing. I called the vet. I can't remember why I had to get him in there. There was something that I don't know if it was a bump or whatever. He had something that was like urgent. I needed him to be seen. And they happened to be able to get me in that day. So same day. So I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous and my heart was starting to hurt a little bit. It was kind of like, the wound was still open. And so I'm having to go back to this vet office where I just had to go through putting Jack down and it wasn't the smoothest transition. So it was just a little more challenging for me to go back there. And so I started talking to Jack. I'm like, Jack, just give me a sign, help heal my heart. Just give me a sign that you're okay. Let me know that you're with me. And I just let it go. And so I go to the vet office with my husband at the time and we bring Henry and we're the only people sitting in the waiting room. So there's staff behind the counter and then there's my ex-husband and I with Henry, and we're sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden I can see the mailman, and he's walking into the vet office, and he only has one thing in his hand. He's got this like manila envelope in his hand, and he walks in, says hello, hands it to the front desk lady. And then I see her look at it. She looks at me, and then she goes over to this other woman. They're kind of in the corner whispering, and the woman looks back at me and she goes, you're Kyera Kacey, right? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, this is for you. And I'm like, okay. So she hands me the manila envelope. And in the envelope were the paw prints that were taken from Jack, like after he passed, so that we could have them. Now, you could easily dismiss that and be like, well, it was a coincidence. Like, you could do all of that. I don't do that because I've been in this world for too long, and I have opened my channel too much to say that that would be a coincidence, right? Like, I wasn't supposed to be at the vet office that day. I was the only person in the waiting room. It was the only piece of mail that the mailman had, and it was for me, and it was Jack's paw prints. And so the message today that I'm bringing through for you is that you are so much more connected to so much more that meets the eye than you could ever truly imagine. And if you've had animals that have crossed over, which like majority of the world does, you can connect with them. And the other thing I want to say, and I let people know this, and it's not even that it necessarily makes it easier, but every animal has actually chosen their transition, the timing, the way that it happens, even if for our human, it feels brutal. So like, let's say a dog gets hit by a car, or they're stolen, or they run away, or like, I don't know, just something, or a house fire, something that is painful for our hearts. The animals have actually chosen how they will pass. So there's something in that for them as well. And I share that to just help everybody who is grieving the loss of a pet, or for those that have a desire to connect with an animal that has crossed over, that they are available for you to connect with. They do choose their passing. They choose the time. They choose the how. They choose all of that, but they also choose you. Every single animal that you actually connect with, it doesn't matter if it's a squirrel for 1 second, or it's a dog that comes into your life, or it's a cat that you adopt, like, it doesn't matter. It could be a fish in the ocean. There is literally a contract for you to have an interaction with that animal, which is so wild to think about. So today's channeled message is that you can connect with your animals who have crossed over. You can ask for signs, but here's what I will say. When you ask for a sign, do not have an attachment or an expectation of how or when this will come in. Just be open and trust.
This podcast was brought to you by my international best-selling book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth, which is available at over 39,000 retailers across the nation. So make sure you pick up your copy today. You can find it in places like Amazon, Target, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and more.